to today's episode. So what today's episode is about is, oh man, that thing just broke off. It's about not violating your standards. Wow, okay, that was unexpected. And so, dang, I guess if I drive too fast, this quarter arm will break off. Like this piece just did, so that's a learning lesson. And basically, like, yeah, it's even more pertinent that I got that on camera, because all it signifies is that I'm outside of my bounds. And I'm outside of my bounds because, one, I've gotten to the level, I've capped out, right? I feel it in my bones, I feel it in the world around me, I feel it in my relationships, which are becoming dampened because of this new relationship, right? The business it's not contained, right? So that means it's out of bounds. And basically, I mean, I'm gonna finish it because I obligated myself to do that. Otherwise, there'll be even more penalties that I will seek upon myself. And today, I'm giving today to be my last day to finish it. But basically, this is what happens. Like, you just see, like, the materials broke. That could have caused a car accident. Could have damaged someone's car, busted their window. All the materials could have flew out recklessly. You missed some phone calls with people where you could have been spending time on your personal life, because there is time to do all of it when you put all of it in time, right? So that means basically, so what that means is that, a couple of them broke. So what that means is that when it comes time to pay people, or certain people are reaching their limits, you got to go right there up to the edge and don't cross it, and then come back. Like right now, I'm up to the edge. Like, I shouldn't, like, all of this trim can't go into my vehicle. So what that says is that, like, I don't need to be using my vehicle anymore to be moving these types of materials and objects, primarily because I need to be implementing the things that I know I can implement, like hiring people who have trucks and who can do this. And the thing about it is that, what comes down to that is that the people that I do have, I need to stay inside of good relations and within my boundaries of those relationships, because they're my boundaries and they're my relationships, and I've overstepped them. Like with this job, it's stretching out longer than it should because, well, one, it's stretching out longer than it should because the one guy I did have, he was gonna come, but then me and him got into an argument, and he's like, now he's tired. And also, I didn't have I did have the money, I just hadn't paid him until after we got into the argument. So it caused a delay, because if he was here, he would have been able to just, finish the job up sooner rather than me taking it later. And so it just comes down to a manpower issue, which is my lack of manpower, or actually me having a lot of manpower and then actually forcing other people, which causes things to break down. So for that reason, I'm outside of my bounds. The other thing being that these projects, this price is too low. If there was more profit in it, then I'd have more ability to hire people at a higher rate, and I could allow the project to go on for longer than it already is going on. But this project is barely at the bottom of my standards because there is no profit in this job. I mean, there was like, the profit that was in this job went to paying back debt. So there wasn't any substantial or significant profit in this job. So, and I definitely, it was at least a 50% discount from what I would have quoted it at originally to fully compensate my team, myself for my time. And so I'm violating my standards by taking these types of jobs. Now, albeit, I did scale up, right? I did scale up, and I did 2 jobs at the same time. So I did one job yesterday by myself with one person, myself, and then I did another job with these other 2 guys who are also working with. So we did have a nice collaboration, joint venture going on, and now I'm back over here knocking the job out with them. But again, they're leaving, after the halfway point for the day. They're not gonna come back. So I'm gonna finish the job out myself again. So this is like the same issue that I ran into the first time. So after I complete this job, I'm gonna take some time and rewatch all of the videos that I've had pertinent to this job, take down all the notes I can take, make those my procedures, and then staying ground around that, because that's my personality in real life, and me in different stressful situations, how I reacted, how I adapted, how I maneuvered, how I changed, how I grew. Because not only did I grow from having no jobs, I grew into having more jobs than I had the manpower for. Then I grew into having more manpower than I had jobs for. And it's always going to oscillate between those two good problems, right? More jobs than I have the men for, and then more men than I have jobs for. I want to have an abundance of each at the appropriate amount of time so that I can waste. I can have people standing around. I can have jobs that I'm not taking because they're not paying enough. I need to have both of those opportunities occurring at the same time, simultaneously. And in that reality, that is where equilibrium or stasis can take place. So since I know that now, I'm going to I got picked up on this one thing. It's like research, execute, study. Research, study, execute, reward. That is the process. And then repeating that process over and over. Because now that I've scaled up to one job, now that I've scaled up to a job where it's like I'm not there and another job is working, that's everything. That's the whole business. And it's just being repeated. It's literally just being repeated. Maybe I'll have some more licenses, some more paperwork, but that's the whole business model, industry on repeat. I'm buying materials. Okay, the materials that I buy, I sell, right? I sell to my customers. So instead of me going to someone else's store, I'll sell those materials to my customers. But oh yeah, I'll just go back to my warehouse, or I'll just invoice you at the end for all of the materials that I produce at my retail rate. I get them in at wholesale rate. I make profit that way, because there's always gonna be some more materials that are gonna be left off the job. Or I come in and I start manufacturing my own materials, to where it's like, oh, well, you need this, and that. Okay, well, I'm actually manufacturing the caulking. I'm manufacturing the trim. I'm manufacturing the flooring adhesives and glues. I'm manufacturing, all of the, transition strips, all of the factors and functions, all the materials of the business I sell in my store. And then on the back end, all the materials of my business I manufacture. So that's an industrial business, an installation, a sales, and a manufacturing arm. So literally from product to process, everything is accounted for. From no creation to installation. Farewell.